center yourself and set your intentions for today's service. And if you haven't already, please put your cell phones on meditate. Good morning, friends, and welcome to Unity of Roanoke Valley. My name is Chris Camper, and I will be serving as your platform assistant today. Reverend Luz is taking a rest day today, and we have a guest speaker, Arlene Prieto. And I'll tell you a little bit about Arlene. Arlene is a certified mind-body coach specializing in emotional resilience and somatic integration. She brings together approaches and modalities from over 30 years of training and experience by creating curriculum, facilitating groups, speaking, and individual coaching to provide clients with evidence-based tools for emotional regulation, as well as frameworks for integration, authenticity, and embodied presence. Arlene served as a founding faculty at Miami's New World School of the Arts for almost 3 decades, where she implemented her Life 101 curriculum. As a member of Miami's Unity on the Bay since 1989, she also guest lectured on A Course in Miracles on several occasions. Today, she lives in Roanoke and loves being part of Unity of the Roanoke Valley community. So we welcome Arlene. And we will, let's see, go ahead and light our Christ candle. And would you join me in affirming our mission and vision statement? So, one presence and one power in the universe, in our God, God the good, omnipotent. And our mission statement is to inspire positive change in our spiritual lives and in the world. Oh, I did it all out of order. My apologies. Well, let's do our mission statement then. Centered in God, we embrace a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. Thank you, God. We want to thank you all for joining us, choosing to spend your time with us today. And Janice will get us started with our music.
Everybody, it's welcome. It's so good to see all of you. Would you please stand now and join with us, Hampton and I, in singing our first congregation song, Wonderful Words of Life. Here we go. Sing them over and over again, wonderful words of life. Let me more than beauty see, wonderful words of life. Words of life and beauty, teach me faith and duty. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Words of wisdom enrich my soul, wonderful words of life. Ever strengthen and make me whole, wonderful words of life. Gems of wisdom thrilling, thirst with truth fulfilling. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Beautiful words, wonderful words, wonderful words of life. Wonderful words. Wonderful job. Please have a seat.
Good morning. The word is one that I tend to associate with this place and all the people in it. The word for today is beautiful. The world becomes beautiful when I find God in it. When I'm fully present to life, I find beauty everywhere. Looking up at the shimmering stars, walking through a field of marigolds, or sitting by the ocean, I notice and rejoice in the beauty of all of nature. It truly is a wonderful world. The beauty that delights my senses also lives in me. The presence of God does not just surround us, it is within us also. My divine gifts, along with my talents and unique abilities, make me a beautiful and integral part of the world. When I live into the fullness of my divinity, the expression of my humanity is simply beautiful. I am a radiant spiritual being, an individuation of the divine. I honor the presence of God within myself and with all others. We are all beautiful. And from the scriptures, one thing I have asked of the Lord that I will seek after, to live in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord, from Psalm 27:4.
Thank you, Pat. And while Davey's coming up to do his first song, Davey Stewards, I'd like to introduce you. He's an amazing guy about town. You may have seen him. He's the owner of Star City Compost. And he is completely an amazing caretaker of the earth in many, many ways. But he's also an amazing musician, father of two. And he's just incredible. So we would like to welcome him today. And he's going to play for us his first song, and he'll tell you a little bit about that right now.
Thank you, Janice. It's so healing and meaningful to come here and sing songs with you all, for you all. And it means a lot to me to transform through music and to have the opportunity to play music. And music is a great communicator, a great healer for all of us when done with the right intentions. So I wrote this song. It's called Today, kind of like if you're giving somebody a present, like to space day. And I wrote this song about 18 years ago when I was 22, and I was in a relationship with somebody who was really struggling to love themselves and really struggling to find their own connection with me or with the rest of the world. And it became really clear to me how if we're going to come to this world and we're going to bring our gifts, we really have to fully embrace ourselves and fully embrace the unique spirit that each and every single one of us has. We're all different. We all have strengths and weaknesses, and we still have to love those things within each and every one of us. But it starts with loving ourselves. So as with Unity, and every single moment that I've had here at Unity, there's great synchronicity in the songs that come to be performed on the days that they come. And the choice of beautiful that was just shared is still a great synchronicity in what this song is about, actually. So I didn't know that's what it was going to be, but the song is kind of an expression of starting anew with the sun breaking and being a tree, essentially, and finding that connection with the outer world through spreading our limbs and feeling the breeze and growing with the sun. This song is called Today. A breath, a sigh, unleashed at dawn, a fresh pink soaks a new day's calm as the breaking sun and my dew-soaked leaves, I perceive that serenity and sense. It's just been waiting for so long. To receive to be released by my tender cares. And I need the sun to find my peace. Radiance allows me to be, and I need to branch out and feel the breeze, for I am only a union becoming, because I inhale today, must love the change that's coming. And I know, because I exhale today, I must love myself in the embrace, 'cause it's not right if we can't meet halfway. Ooh, 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 Thank you.
At this time, I invite the prayer chaplains serving today to come and share our healing prayer. Prayer chaplains are available for prayer immediately after each service in our prayer chapel, which is that room behind the stained glass windows.
This is the day that the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So as we come together in healing prayer, let's take a deep breath in and bring ourselves into this moment. If it feels comfortable, you can close your eyes or lower your gaze. We know that we are divine beings having this earthly experience. and we pray for healing for all people, all beings. I was reading Matthew and Mark this morning where it says, ask, believing, and you shall receive. Having faith when we ask. So we pray for all those people who may have some kind of challenge, whether it be financial, physical, relationship, whatever it is. We pray for the highest and best for them. We know that divine order is always at work in our lives. We have so many things to be grateful for. We are a blessing to ourselves and to each other. So we say thank you, loving Spirit, for all our many, many blessings. Amen.
Thank you, Anna. And as we prepare for meditation, let's sing together. Breathe.
Morning. So if you will either close your eyes or soft gaze, whatever feels more comfortable to you. You can roll your shoulders back if you like. It's helpful to have your feet on the ground and take a deep breath. Let it go. And finding your center, find an infinite eternal spark of light that fills and radiates your heart with infinite wisdom, clarity, compassion, and courage, reminding you that that is always there and that anything you say and do from this place will always be for your highest good and everyone else's. Seeing that light now spread from your heart out through your body, out your fingertips, the top of your head, your feet, extending beyond your physical body, radiating your aura or any other layer of energetic body that belongs to you, and then extending beyond that to become part of a wide, bright beam of light that's going straight through your body, into the earth, anchoring at the center, at its core, and at the same time going out past you into space and infinity. So as you sit here in that beam of light, you feel both grounded with the power of the earth, and at the same time, your consciousness expanded with the vastness of the universe. Coming back to that heart of light, noticing a horizontal line of light intersecting it, you can see it in your mind's eye, representing your environment, your experiences, anything you can connect to or belong to. And then one more time, returning to that heart of light, noticing the three-dimensionality of the physical body surrounding it. Starting by scanning the front of the body, and then noticing the back of the body, and finally inside the body, becoming aware, accessing your interoception, your awareness of the muscles, the bones, the organs, any sensations that are coming up. So many things make up this incredible three-dimensional body. And bringing those three components together, that vertical line of your individual dignity, that horizontal line of your experiences and connectedness, and that sense of safety and presence in your body, right here, right now. Take another deep breath. Let it go. Allowing that sense of peace, connected, and integration to notice how it waves out from you in vibration, connecting with everyone else's beautiful beams of light in here as well. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you. So, today we're talking about it's all good, and how we embracing all our parts will actually lead us to a more present and experiential sense of authenticity and wholeness than we would obviously if we were caught in the illusion of just being human beings, and maybe even more connected and more present and joyful than believing that we are just spiritual beings. As Davy said, Genesis music and Pat reading the daily word and Anna's meditation just boggles the mind how the synchronicities of the messages come through. I was getting a little nervous earlier today, and then I remembered that a couple years ago I gave a talk here, and the same thing happened. Obviously, the alignment, the connection, not just the individual, but the connectedness created this incredible message to remind me that I didn't have to wonder whether the message that I was sharing was on target. The message was already here and being provided by all of you who shared all those beautiful things. So thank you. Also reminded me that when I first gave a talk, I was not a member of Unity. I came here and you all welcomed me. You didn't just welcome me and embrace me as namaste, I see the divinity within you, the Christ energy in you, you're welcome. You welcome me that way, and you welcome me as Arlene. You made me part of your community. You helped me remember, become a member of this particular container. You see, we have this illusion that we pick up because we forget that everything is polarities, and within those polarities, everything also has a shadow and light. So the good stuff also has a shadow side, and the bad stuff also has a light side. We work so hard to get over separation and stop buying into separation. And yet, without separation, we wouldn't have the experience that Pat read in the Daily Word, which is the experience of the individuation of the God energy, right? It's not a soup, it's not a blur. When we feel that way about our body, we know that, right? You check in your body, and you want the body to be whole and healed. You don't want it to all become one thing because you need the liver to function and the heart to function, the lungs to function, all in their capacity to integrate and create a sense of oneness and wholeness, not away from the parts, but by integrating the parts. That's really hard for many of us that are here. I worked with, for years, I worked with so many students in a curriculum that I wrote that was built to help these students explore possibilities of other states of awareness, other sense of realities, letting go of some of the limiting beliefs and programming that they had been brought up with to explore their own sense of experiences and truth. Believe it or not, as much as that was challenging because facing our stuff is hard, many of us here have had those moments. If you're here, you had a moment of breakdown where you had to let go of the illusion, the disillusionment of life the way we thought it was. Some of us had a strong sense of faith about things. And as Joe Louis put so aptly and so well in his famous quote that later Mike Tyson used in a different way, is we all have a plan until we get hit. And then we have to figure out something else, right? So one of the universal truths is that any significant change requires a new framework. You know, Einstein is quoted as saying, whether it's his exact words or just the message he was saying, is that we cannot solve a problem. A problem cannot be solved at the level that it was created. We have to go to another level, right? You have to be above the problem so you can see it and understand it. So in the midst of all of this experience that we're having here, we're never going to see all of it. We can connect to it, we can meditate, we can have those incredible Sartori moments, those instants of connection with oneness and divinity. And the moment we think about it, we're not there anymore. Because non-duality, oneness, is just one. The minute we have a thought, there's the thinker, the observer, and the thought we're thinking. Even if it's like, isn't this amazing to be? Oh, yeah, it's gone. Yes, I have the joy of the experience, but I'm not there anymore. So those first experiences that many of us had, it could have been like me, you know, a breakdown over an eating disorder that almost killed me. People think I've spent my whole life being open and in a journey and exploring. No. It required facing the choice of either I'm going to address my issues and get some help, or I'm going to run the risk of having another episode where I found myself having arrhythmia and feeling I was dying on a bathroom floor after a bulimic episode at age 30. That's what it took for me to actually deal with something that wasn't my plan. You see, I knew what I was supposed to do and how things were supposed to work, and I had it all figured out. It's just life wasn't really cooperating with that. So that big leap, that big change from feeling, from living from the illusion, I'm going to call it dependent, because the metaphor of dependent and independent is stuff we can relate to really well. So I was dependent on my thinking, on the reality of the world, the way things I believed they were and the way the world was, and that made me try to control life. That dependence on needing to face life and deal with this level of reality led to that level of control that led to that eating disorder. When I hit a bottom and I decided I had to do something about it, I had the grace that many of us feel when we go like, well, this framework doesn't work anymore. Gotta find a new framework. So that framework went from being dependent on whatever I believed in the dynamics of my life to letting it all go and moving over here to be free from those things. In my 12-step recovery, I left behind my character flaws and a bunch of other things that I wasn't supposed to be doing and feeling and dealing with. So I became free from all of those things. I even moved to a tiny little apartment where I had no TV. I had a new circle of friends, and I restarted my life because that's what it required for me to restart. So I really found such a sense of peace because I created a container, separation, right, away from these things that I was dependent on so I could be free from those things. And I really embrace being free from. It's just that if we were only meant to be spiritual beings having a spiritual experience, then we would move from, oh, I'm the body, this is the reality, this is life, and then we come over here and we go like, this is it. I'm just spirit now. None of it means anything. It's all an illusion. I'm just spirit. And if we are looking for a life where we are a monk, living in a cave where we are free from all of other things in life, that works for them. I'm not judging anybody else's process. It's just that for me, right, I really healed in that cocoon. I was the caterpillar that was crawling around in life, trying to really embrace life, but really crawling. And then I found a cocoon, a separation, right, where I actually was a good thing to be separate at that point, a container where I could be safe enough to heal and grow and expand beyond the limited place that I was coming from. That cocoon that was so helpful for a little while then became a container not where I could grow and expand, but a trap where I felt very disconnected. Because the truth is, I didn't really want to be just a spiritual being having a spiritual experience, because what was the fun in that? So, and we're not. It's an illusion. Illusion that we are dependent is an illusion, but so is the illusion that we are independent. None of us in here are completely independent. I live alone. I work from home. I'm self-employed. But I don't make my clothes, I don't cook my food, I don't grow my food. I drive down streets that other people made. The truth is that we are all interdependent, not only on this level, but at a higher level of oneness, we are truly interdependent, individuation of the God energy. So as tough as that was, it's kind of easier to have a one-target thing. Like, all I had to do was get rid of, avoid, right? Limit these things, and so I could be free from. That was really hard, but really simple. The mind, not mind, but my mind, the human mind, could capture that and grasp that idea. It's what I needed. It was straightforward. Also then, I really didn't want to be a chrysalis forever. Like, I wanted to be a butterfly, right? So as human beings, if we were just meant to be spiritual beings, we're not meant to be humans having a human experience, or spiritual beings having a spiritual experience. We are here, like the butterfly, not to be the caterpillar, and not to be the chrysalis, but to be the butterfly. Right? It is the yes and of it. It's not either or. We hold two truths together. And as difficult as the first journey is, it's sometimes even harder to do the transcendent part, right? Because now we have to figure things out. Before it was clear. I'm either here or I'm here. I don't do that, I don't do that. Get rid of my ego, get rid of all those things, just love everyone all the time and always, and just be at one. Well, now I have to figure out how to have a relationship with people and my job and emotions that come up in those interactions and triggers that are still there and wounded parts within that have not been fully healed and addressed. They've just been told, it's just an illusion, you're okay. That works for spirits. That works for us as adults. But anyone who's taking care of a child knows that a child, you cannot logic them into believing you. You can't. You can't bully them into believing you. You can't logic them to believing you. You can't gaslight them into believing you. You can't bargain with them or bribe them. There's only one way a child will believe you. They have to have one thing. What is the one thing a child has to have for them to believe you? What do they have to believe about you in order for a child to believe you? Trust, right? It's trust. So the ironic part is that a lot of the time, those of us who've had a spiritual awakening, for me it was my 12-step program, Course in Miracles, and many other things that all were about getting rid of things, right? All those parts of me that were still struggling to hold it together for me, not only were struggling carrying the weight of my wounds and my fears and all of my stuff, But on top of that, they had spent the last several years with me blaming the hell out of them and telling them, you are not spiritual, you got to get out of here, you do not belong here. So having to integrate is harder, right? We walk by the room, we're taking care of a child, the child has had a nightmare, and they believe there are monsters in the closet, right? So, you know, if you're a working person that's taking care of that child, you have to get up to work. And it might be the 5th time this week, right? And we want to find a way to maneuver and strategize and convince that child that their fears are not real. We know there are not monsters in the closet. That's not the point. That child doesn't know that there are not monsters in the closet. Their fear is real. Their experience is real. The yes and of moving from free from is the embracing of the paradox, the transcending of the two sides, and realizing, yes, my fear may not be real. As an adult, I know it's not real, but a part of me is wallowing in that fear. A part of me is scared. A part of me is experiencing that as if it were reality. Something triggered a part of me that is having an experience that is not now, but it's reminding them, and they're reacting to something that happened before. And if I don't take the time to validate, to listen, to honor the experience of that part, then that really isn't love, right? Love is to find out what it is that that child needs for them to get to a place where they feel safe. Because if they feel safe, they go back to sleep. If the parts of me that I find inconvenient because they do things that are not what I would like to do, they make me feel out of control, or they bring out shadow dark sides of me, or they're parts that are ugly, if the parts of me that act out in that way, if I fight them, guess what happens? They're going to hold on stronger because they are trying to help me. If someone's trying to help someone, and the person that they're trying to help is ignoring them, and they're rapidly heading for a cliff, then the person trying to help them is not going to get quieter. It's going to get louder. Many years ago, my niece Jenny used to bring her, who's here, used to bring her kids to stay with me in Miami. And went to see a movie, and my littlest grandnephew, he was a little upset about the movie, and so my niece went outside with him. And I was in the movie theater with just my niece, Alexis, who I adore. And Alexis and I, we didn't spend that much time together. I lived there, she lived here. So she knew me, but, you know, she wasn't all that trusting of me. I mean, she knew she was safe, but in safe circumstances. And so we're sitting in the theater alone, and the alarm goes off. The fire alarm goes off. The movie gets shut down, and all of a sudden people start getting up, and they're heading out through the fire exit. Now, this was a time where there had been a shooting, like the day before, at a movie theater. And I had also had an experience being in a restaurant that had been on fire. So I took this extremely seriously. I also, as a teacher, had known, about what to do in these circumstances, and that we're much more likely to get hurt by our reaction to the fire alarm than by getting caught by the fire. It's either our reaction and acting too fast, too crazy, or not reacting at all, which is what happened in that restaurant. It's crazy. People continue to have brunch because we shut down. That's one of the things we do. We shut down the voices that are telling us, pay attention. So Alexis, who was probably 6 or 7 at that point, is sitting next to me, and the alarm goes off, and she bolts out of her seat, and she starts to run down the aisle. So I am responsible for her, and I know that she is in much more danger of the crowd than anything else. So I say, Alexis, 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 and then finally, in a very deep, very aggressive voice, I bolt out, Alexis, stop! And little Alexis froze. She didn't stop with a, Alexis, Alexis, stop, stop, stop. But when I said stop, she froze in her tracks. She realized what she was doing, and she turned back to me, and because there was trust, because she knew that she could count on me, she overrode her fear. She overrode her reaction. She overrode trusting herself to do, which was smart, just to get out, but she overrode trusting me to get her out. And she let me hold her hand, and we left calmly, and everything went great because two things happened, right? I treated that reaction not with a judgment. I thought she did a freaking great job. I think, if I wasn't there, I was so glad that she jumped up and she was going to get out. I knew that. I'm glad that she was able to trust me to get her out more safely than if she was trying to work her way through a crowd. This is how we can treat and deal with the parts of us that are afraid, the parts of us that we may or may not be conscious of. Because every part of us, and this is part of the new framework, the framework we had before, our awakening, our spiritual path, whatever growth we've had is, I got this, I have a plan, I know what I'm doing. Then we get the hit, and then we pick up a new framework, a spiritual path, being part of Unity, a recovery program, seminars, training, growth, something that puts us in experiences beyond ours, where we connect to a system, a structure that helps us understand things from, as Einstein would say, another level. When we want to move from here to integrating our parts, then it requires seeing and embracing and being compassionate with parts that we might have really, really wanted to get rid of, that really seem so counter to our peace, to our spirituality, to our sense of integration and wholeness and authenticity. Like, that's not part of me. Where did that come from? The other thing we can do is get really upset and over-identify with those parts. God, I have to work on that part. I wouldn't even say part. God, I'm so this. I'm still so this. I can't believe I did that. And we over-identify with those parts and blame ourselves for doing or saying or not doing. We all have the survival instinct. Dan Siegel, who is a brilliant psychiatrist who wrote several books, he uses a very simple hand model. Since he's got, I don't know how many PhDs, and he's brilliant, I think we can use it. And he uses this for the concept of integration. He uses the hand, and you can follow me if you like. He puts the hand up, and he takes the thumb and he puts it in the middle, and then you fold your fingers over the thumb. This represents the sort of representative 3 levels of the brain, which also he used to represent the 3 levels of our mind. And so, as human beings, our most basic fundamental need is to feel safe. That's it. Number 1. The first instinct of anything alive, including the ego and our parts and everything else that exists, is to stay alive. We all know that. So our primary instinct is to survive. Above that is the part of us that is thinking beyond this survival of this moment, and that is thinking, I need stuff, like we need shelter and food and resources, right? So that mid part where amygdala and hippocampus is, that kind of regulates our autonomic nervous system, fight, flight, freeze, fawn. And then above that, this represents the mammalian brain, the neocortex, the human part of us, and the need that we have at that human level is to connect. And so when we are integrated, they're all separate parts. Here's the body, here's the spine, here's the brain. When we are functioning within a window of tolerance, things we can handle, which is why I had to move from the space where I wasn't handling life using my framework to make a smaller container so that I could develop my tolerance, emotional, spiritual strength. Same kind of exercise, just with the spirit and the mind. So when we want to go to the next level, we will find that the only way to do that is to address the stuff that might be here, our fears, our past trauma, unprocessed emotions that we're carrying because we were told we shouldn't have it, or we don't remember it, or we couldn't survive if we had it. So all of those things are sitting here, and so we're going around life trying to function in an integrated way, and something comes along and triggers us. And boom, as Dan Siegel would say, we flip our lid. When we flip our lid, we are crazy. Those are the moments where later you say, oh my God, why did I say that? Or like, who was that? Or, and that's when we say things that are like aggressive, like the fight response. Or we run, we leave, and then we find ourselves, if you ever find yourself leaving a place going, how did I get here? Because we were uncomfortable, because something was very difficult, and before you knew it, we were out the door. Or freeze. How many times have you said after a conversation or an experience, I now know exactly what to do and say. Why didn't I know what to do and say in that moment? And the more subtle one, which is now finally getting attention, fawning. Fawning is what we do in that survival mode of when the thing we're afraid of is not something we can fight or flight or freeze to be safe. It is so scary and so intimidating that we have to fawn. We have to try to win it over. People-pleasing, betraying ourselves, allowing ourselves to be gaslit, gaslighting ourselves. These reactions, right, are our friends. These parts stepped up when we were vulnerable, because here's the truth. As children, as human babies, we are the most vulnerable. We die in a very short amount of time if we are not taken care of, not only physically, right, food, warmth, and but also with co-regulation, right? We are one of the animals that takes the longest to be independent, and on top of that, we also can't regulate our emotional or nervous system. So we need human beings to feed us, to care for us, to protect us, and also inside to feel some safety and emotional regulation. Since most of us grew up in homes where our parents did not receive the best parenting to begin with, and so on, and so on, and so on, thank you to all of our ancestors who survived, because in order for us today to have the opportunity to thrive, we and everyone before us had to survive. So when we're grateful, we don't say, let's let all that go, right? We're grateful and we honor and notice. We notice. There's, parts work is not new. The idea that the person has parts, Plato talks about that, and Sufism and Hinduism and, the Kabbalah. I mean, it's just not a new idea. But the current perception of parts that is covered with things like IFS is one of my favorites because it makes it simple. IFS says there's a core you. It's the higher self, the part of you that knows who you are, that can connect to the voice of God, right? You're in charge. The problem is that along the way, before you had that awareness, stuff happened. Stuff happened in parents' homes where, I might have watched my parents have an argument, and at 2, I don't understand that it's just a regular argument. I'm thinking, I'm totally terrified and unsafe, and so therefore a part of me that says, oof, you don't feel safe, will develop a part, a protector part. Maybe it's a manager. I'm just going to make sure you're never in that space again. I'm going to become hyper-vigilant and make sure I know how everybody feels, so I'm never in a place where people are angry. Or it could be a firefighter part. Firefighter part comes after the fire. I feel so terrible and scared, so now I can develop comfort things, addictions, disassociation, distractions, obsession with my phone, anything that will numb out the pain of something that happened. And why are those managers trying to avoid things ever happening again, or firefighters trying to make feel better because it happened? They're not protecting the self, the core identity that Jung would say it's your higher self, and so many other ideas. But for IFS, they call it your core self. That core self is the chooser, the observer. And what those parts are protecting is not you, the adult. It's that wounded, exiled part of you that decided the world wasn't safe when such and such thing happened at such and such time, because we are born helpless, physically, mentally, and emotionally helpless. We need to feel safe, resourced, and connected. And we have no ability to do that for ourselves. So when we find ourselves in circumstances as little children, those parts hide because they don't want to feel it again. And these are the parts that come up. When we stop focusing on trying to get rid of those things, and start loving those things enough to let them speak to us and say, hey, this is what I'm protecting you from. Then we can work on healing the things that are causing the problem. I'm going to close with a story. It's a funny story where, and then I got to do two things. The story is there's a man who's walking down the street. There's a very dark night, and there's a lamppost with a light and a man underneath it. And the man is going through the grass. So the walking man says, sir, did you lose something? And he says, yeah, lost my keys. So he stops and he helps him. And 5 minutes pass, and 15, 20 minutes later, the man helping finally says, sir, we've moved every blade of grass in this area. Are you sure you lost your keys here? And the man says, oh no, I lost my keys over there, but the light is better over here. When we fight our emotions, when we fight our reactions, when we fight the parts of us that are actually, we're not in control. The minute we're triggered, we're not accessing all of our tools, right? They're in charge. But when we're fighting them, we're fighting parts that are doing the best they can with the only thing they have to work with. And if we want it to be different, we see them, we hear them, we validate them, we thank them for helping us survive so that we can tell them, I've got you. You can start trusting me. I see you. I hear you. Thank you. And you're not doing this alone anymore. Now I can help us do these things. So the last thing I'm going to offer is a little practice for that. One of the most important things is that body, connecting with it. So a simple practice I encourage you to do as much somatic work as you can. This is not a somatic practice. It's a mantra. And the mantra is a part of me. It's resistant. People that want to work on oneness and wholeness and authenticity, and I don't want my life to be compartmentalized and I want to be authentic, they don't like that phrase. But it's amazing. The minute we start saying, instead of saying like, I feel sad, I feel mad, I'm confused, part of me, I want to do this, but I hate that person. Yeah, but I keep talking to that person. And all that stuff that we say, if we can change I into a part of me is sad, a part of me is scared, a part of me wants to leave, a part of me wants to get attention, a part of me is angry, a part of me, a part of me, a part of me. That practice alone is like little tiny curls building up a muscle. You don't feel it when you're doing it, but it is literally reprogramming your neural net system into not over-identifying with the limiting parts. In that phrase, two things happen. I, the observer, you're owning the observer, and I am acknowledging a part of me. And that alone will start shifting our capacity and create a new container and a new framework where we can work on committing to love and embrace the parts and realize that only by including those parts are we actually going to be able to feel whole and have a human experience. Spiritual beings having a human experience. And boy, I think there's a lot of fun in that. Thank you.
What a great message, huh, everybody? Thank you, Arlene. I feel like I've been going through a process of that for a number of years, my own self. I'm still processing what you said. That was really powerful. Thank you. This song just came out. This is a new song. It came out like maybe a month and a half ago. And I heard it, and it's by David and I here, David Overstreet and I, happened to share a strong passion for the same band. And it's before we ever met, we both just fell in love with this band called Ayaterra. And this band broke up, and the singer started a new band called Aurora Wave, which is a metal reggae core mashup. I still love it. And this song is the last song on the record, and it really translates extremely well for church. And I went and I just figured out and started playing it without knowing or seeing any chord charts or anything like that. So I found out that Janice lives about 10 or 12 houses away from me. And hopefully that means Janice and I will be playing more music together, because it's really convenient and nice, just to add to the synchronicities of everything here. And I invited David to come play, and then I said, well, gosh, if Clarissa came and sang with us, it would sound even better. So here we have this arrangement of friends and singers, and I'm gonna try to set up just this little camera real quick. So this song is called Keep the Faith. And the songwriter is a guy named Nathan Aurora. And I'm just going to make sure I have this here so I can read it. All right. So thank you very much, Arlene. And thank you. And thank you all for being here.
Here you are standing at your crossroads, hanging on your last bit of hope. Never know which way you're supposed to go. Good things, yeah, they never come easy. Sometimes you've gotta risk it all. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, so let's jump head first to the unknown. Even if you stumble, you don't have to be afraid. For this I hope and pray your struggles pass you by, and in the passing time, everything's gonna be okay if we can keep the faith. You're standing on the edge of forever, wondering if you can survive the fall. Only one way to get to the other side. Good then find your strength now, somewhere from deep within. Your heart will always be your guide. Let's jump head first to the unknown. Even if you stumble, you don't have to be afraid. For this I hope and pray your struggles pass you by, and in the passing time, everything's gonna be okay if we can keep the faith. Everything's gonna be alright now. It's all gonna work out fine. Everything's gonna be alright. Just keep the faith inside. Everything's gonna be alright now. It's all gonna work out fine. Everything's gonna be okay. Just keep the faith. Let's jump head first to the unknown. Even if you stumble, you don't have to be afraid. For this I hope and pray. Your struggles pass you by, and in the passing time, everything's gonna be okay if we can keep the faith.
Thank you all.
Let's jump head first, right? So let's prepare for our offerings. We invite you to share your gifts this morning with gratitude and love, knowing that we appreciate you and your generosity. And would you kindly join me in our offertory blessing? Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I am open to receive. Thank you, Father, Mother God.
So this is another song by the same songwriter, a guy named Nathan Aurora. And this one is by Aya Terror, me and David's favorite band. And our family has been singing both of these songs all the time, because I play them all the time. They're like two of my favorite songs. And my daughter likes to joke, and my kids and wife are over here. My daughter likes to joke that my son likes to jump head first into the unknown every time he's jumping off the couch. So it's little, she says, that's Terrence's part. It's always funny. But this song is called Wiser Now, you all. Thank you so much for being here today, and Arlene for the message, and Chris, and just all the work that everybody puts into creating this congregation. I really appreciate you all. It's an amazing space to spiritually grow, so keep the faith and let's keep it going.
Been a while now since I sat down. Been traveling on until the break of day. Time to reassess the process. Lord, give me the strength to face this next test. Knowing the face of wickedness, I'll stand righteous. No man can curse who the Lord has blessed. I walk through the valley, the shadow of death is crept in, but I never thought I'd see it again. I guess it's all a part of the art to live. Your work is never done till your grave digging. We rise like a phoenix, burn through the flames, fall and do it all right over again. We call out to the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Everything is everything. Wiser now than I was before, but I still got a ways to go. I can see the sun rising, open up a new horizon, yeah. Wiser now than yesterday. Winds of change are gonna blow my way. I can finally see the lights of a brand new day. Na 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 na, yeah. Na 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 na, no. Na 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 na, seasons change and the change they bring. Winter now comes upon to spring. New life has come to light, we sing, hey yo. Wave goodbye to the days of old. Want the sunrise to wash the cold. Flood like a river to wash my soul. I let it flow. We rise like a phoenix, burn through the flames, fall and do it all right over again. We call out to the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Everything is everything. Wiser now than I was before, but I still got a ways to go. I can't see the sun rising, open up a new horizon, yeah. Wiser now than yesterday. Winds of change are gonna blow my way. I can finally see the light of a brand new day. Na 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 na, yeah. Na 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 no. Na 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 na, hey, hey, yeah. Raise my hands up into the sky, giving thanks for this gift of life. All my relations let out to cry, it's time we rise. Blessings rain down now in abundance. I am closer to this call of oneness. Every lesson I am taking from this materialize. We rise like a phoenix, burn through the flames, fall into it all right over again. We call out to the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Everything is everything. Wiser now than I was before, but I still got a ways to go. I can see the sun rise and open up a new horizon, yeah. Wiser now than yesterday. Winds of change are gonna blow my way. I can finally see the light of a brand new day. Na 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 na, yeah. Na 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 no. Na 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 na, hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Thank you very much.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Would you join me in affirming our abundance? Unity of Roanoke Valley is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us, and we accomplish mighty works together. Mighty works indeed. So, well, we have a couple of announcements for you. The weekend we've all been looking forward to is coming up on Saturday. October 4th is our yard sale. So we're excited. I put a few things in the pod this morning, and we've got lots of things in the pod. So hopefully you're able to join us for the yard sale. We ask you to spread the word and continue to bring in donations this week. There's also a volunteer meeting right after service today at 12:30 in the sanctuary. And we also are asking if you want to, we're asking for baked goods. We're going to have a bake sale too. So if you feel called to bake something, you can bring it on Thursday from 10 to 4 or Friday after 4 p.m. Of course, you can always bring it Saturday too. So our board of directors representative is, I think, me. Yep. So I'll meet you in the lobby after. And now it's time to bring our kiddos in. And if you brought a child with you to church today, we invite you to come forward and meet them down here.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Good morning. Please be seated. As you can see, we had a really big group in YFM today. So I just want to say thank you and welcome to all of our new families and new faces. This is what a youth ministry is supposed to look like. A little bit chaotic, but lots and lots of fun. So as you can see, we've got a lot of kids, which means, hello, volunteers. I'm always looking for new volunteers. So if you feel called in your heart to volunteer with our youth and family ministry, please let me know. Our lesson today, as we move through the 12 powers, was love. And we talked a lot about the different kinds of love, unconditional love, self-love. And we've got some friends that are going to read some slips for us. So we're going to start right here with Helen.
My Christ light within me makes me love powered, and I can make the world a better place.
And now we've got Ace.
I am worthy of love, and I embrace my power to love and be loved.
And then who else do we have? Lila, you've got one, right, kiddo? Yeah, come here, sweetie. Do you have a little slip? No. Who's got my other slips? Lennox. Okay.
I love myself as I love God, right here, right now.
And is there one more? Do we have one more? Who? Oh, yeah, here we go, Maddie.
Love is my divine compass, guiding me to life filled with purpose and joy.
Awesome group today. So we've got a couple of really fun, exciting things coming up. We've got our Youth of Unity rally that's going to be here at Unity of Roanoke Valley on Halloween weekend. That's for our teenagers. And we've got 2 teenagers that are going to be able to come. Raise your hands, guys. And then the following weekend, we are taking our tweens to Unity of Gaithersburg. And we're going to be taking this guy and hopefully Lennox too. I'm hoping, yeah. So if you would like to support any of this, please let me know. We do need volunteers, we do need donations, and your support, of course, is always greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for supporting YFM.
Yes.